So the union strike has been extremely successful, making the big Detroit 3 automakers bend down their knees. But now, the UAW is reportedly targeting Tesla. Fortunately, they have tried in the past and they've failed in the past already. But will this time be different? So let's explore if this is even a possibility, looking at Tesla's pay to workers and other factors. We've got Larry Goldberg with us. He's done a deep dive in this topic. He's quite interested in it, and he wanted to share some more information about it. Thanks, Larry. Welcome.
Thanks, Hubert. Yeah, so Tesla's targeted now by the unions. They've put a bullseye on Elon's back. They're after Tesla, and it's a big prize for them because, when you talk about the big three today, you tend to talk about GM, Ford, and Tesla. Now, Tesla have, as you pointed out, avoided this problem have avoided unionization in the past. And Tesla, has a very interesting history as far as unionization is concerned, because they bought a factory that employed a lot of union workers and was, had a very bad reputation for manufacturing, very poor manufacturing practices and quality. And they've managed to avoid a success by the UAW in that site since they've run the factory. And I've toured that factory, and I have to say that we got a lot of smiles wherever we were. A lot of people seem very happy. Now that's just a casual observation, but I have to say it seemed to be a happy place to be at. So the question is, given UAW's momentum now, and given the settlement being 25% increase over 4 years, that seems to be a very significant number. I think the number's roughly correct. What's going to happen to Tesla? Well, it's an open issue because, the talk is that GM and Ford currently pay significantly more than Tesla. So I did a little bit of investigation, and thanks to Car Charts, shout out to Car Charts, and here I have the website for glennmercer.substack.com, who prepared this chart, or actually sourced this chart from the Automotive Center for Automotive Research, and got some numbers from Wells Fargo Security Estimates. But here are some numbers for Ford and GM compared to and Stellantis between 2019 and 2023, and the rates that they're paying. And then we see the kind of estimates. So the numbers really are somewhere between 55 at the low end for Stellantis back in 2019, up to a high of 74 targeted at GM for 2023. Now the question is, how does this compare to Tesla? Well, the story that we're told is that the average at Tesla is about $55 an hour in comparison, and that would really represent the 2019 number. And actually, in my research, I find that the numbers are actually not $55, but they're a lot closer right now to the $60+ at Tesla. And why is this? What is this differentiation? The first part of the differentiation is that there's been a significant change in the Tesla numbers, as there have been for the other car manufacturers since the pandemic. We've seen a very significant jump in the numbers since the pandemic, and that's been generalized. The problem really is that it's very difficult to pin down for Tesla what the amount of money is that the average worker gets back from its profit, from the shares that they can purchase, should they wish to purchase, and what the experience of those shares have been. You know, we've heard the stories of the millionaires, the Teslaonaires they're called, who have done so well from their stock purchases that they've really been able to sit back and relax. You know, the last year or two hasn't been that good, but it's quite possible that they're going to experience the same thing, the same trajectory in the next 2 or 3 years. And if so, the question is that a sufficient incentive for them to stay with the current arrangement, or are they going to be snared by the lure of the of the settlement that the union has been able to get from the big three? And it's an open question. It's very hard to see, the process in the future. What I can say is that Tesla has been very successful in the past, was successful in a recent challenge in Buffalo, New York, where perhaps there was an even greater incentive for the Buffalo group to sign on to the union. But it's a challenge, and I think it's going to impact Tesla over time.
I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com. Yeah.
Certainly in the next year.
This is pre-strike numbers that you shared. So, the thing is that the union came out of this battle as clear winners. Yes. The public is basically thinking they did an amazing job, that they were able to battle and charge, deliver for the employees. So that will seep into Tesla employees' minds.
No doubt about it.
The union can come in; they're going to be able to kind of get better wages, better. I think the other part of the story is not just the wages, but the demand by Elon and Tesla to work really, really, really hard. Then you combine that with a flat price for Tesla for so long that there might have been a significant amount of Tesla employees who are now kind of disillusioned. I still believe that they won't. You're talking Fremont, right? They're going to come in and try to do a kind of a recruitment effort in Fremont and try to convert them into unions. But I believe that they won't be able to do it, because I don't think they'll be able to do it because Tesla is in bots and in energy. The story about Tesla being beyond an automaker it basically broke through this year. In January, everybody started realizing Tesla's an energy company. In March, they started realizing it's an AI company. Now they're talking it's a bot company. And then soon we're going to see the autonomy come out. I think that if I was a worker, I would go, I want the potential. It's like a lottery ticket. Do I want to be in a lottery ticket opportunity, or do I want to just guarantee my salary? And you know what happens? General workers, regular people, they like the lottery ticket idea versus I'll pay you, a little bit more. That's my guess. But yeah.
I think I will say that I think there is a lot of pressure on workers today at the current levels of income. A lot.
True. Very true.
And in Fremont, these workers travel a long distance to come to work. So Fremont, the cost of living in that Fremont area has become excessive. And you're not going to be able to move that plant very easily. So, workers are traveling a long distance. It's a tough grind. I have to say that, in the touring of that plant, I was just struck by the attitude of the workers. Everybody we passed, and we passed a lot of people, and, you travel quite quickly on these little trains as you go touring the factory. There were a lot of hand waving, people who didn't have to pay attention or hand wave. So I think what you're saying is clear, and I'm in agreement with you, but there are, these enormous pressures on these people, and it worries me.
Mhm.
And I think we are going to see a labor cost increase, if only to maintain their spending power, quite apart from the union demands. And so I think we are going to see some secular cost increases in labor. The good news is that labor components becoming less and less and less step by step. So hopefully they'll be able to hold the line. One thing's for sure, that's going to be very, very difficult for Detroit to compete with the other auto manufacturers unless all of the other auto manufacturers step up their costs accordingly.
I just heard today that Toyota just unilaterally increased prices, employees' wages, because they wanted to match what was won by. So because the next logical target would have been Toyota. I think that's what I was going to ask you, and you just answered it, which is Tesla will likely just go ahead and give raises if there's even a threat that this might happen. Let's go ahead and pump them up, even prior to them voting to see if they can form a union. Okay.
Yeah, the game
for.
theory in that could really turn that upside down on its head too. It may be that putting up wages would be an indication to the workers that, maybe union is a good idea. On the other hand, it may also be that they get all the benefits of being in a union and they don't have to pay dues because the pressure is on. So it's an interesting game theory situation, but it's a tough business.
It's a tough business. Okay. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you taking the time to compare the wages. That was critical. And this is something like you said, it's an open question. We need to keep a close eye on it. I'm still not terribly worried, but we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Larry. Appreciate you.